I desire Jesus. What a song.
Yes.
But I wonder how many people really desire to see Jesus. You know, if you look at the world, as Caroline mentioned earlier, it says the signs of the times are all around us. Signs. Signs are important. If you're traveling down a road for the first time, you're very dependent upon signs. Signs tell you how to go, different directions, speed limits, look for potholes, sudden curves. You become dependent upon signs. If you come across a sign which says, bridge out, road ends 1,000 yards ahead, you've got to make a decision. Do you trust that sign like you did the others? Or do you ignore it? Which means you'll find out in 1,000 yards time. Or do you philosophize about it? Do you discuss how wide the river is, how fast the current's flowing, how deep the gulch is? You'll find out about 1,000 yards ahead. Or do you change what you're doing? Change direction, change speed, take a different road. See, signs are like prophecies. The people who design the roads, who know the roads, put signs up to tell you what's going to happen in your future if you don't change and listen to the signs. The Bible is one huge sign. That's really what it is all about, telling us what's going to happen in the future. Or telling the people who lived before us what's going to happen in their future. Ever since the time when God covered Adam and Eve with the skins of an animal to cover their sin, it's been prophesying what was going to happen. It's been coming down so that the prophecy was for, initially, Christ's first coming. At the time of the Passover, it was a prophecy. The slaying of the lamb on the day before Passover, so the blood would cover the lintels of the doorposts, was a prophecy as to what would happen when Christ came. And hundreds of years after that event, Christ was crucified on the anniversary of that exact day that the Israelites slew the lamb for their Passover feast. And Christ rose from the dead and went back to heaven. In his ascension, the angel said, this same God who ascends into heaven will likewise come back. Prophecy. But you know, prophecy is something you don't hear very often in churches anymore. Certainly, the book of Revelation is not something you hear in many churches. Martin Luther, who was the founder of the Protestant Reformation, never looked at the book of Revelation very much. He didn't like it, because he didn't understand it. He said it didn't preach Christ, which is kind of hard to understand when the very first line is the revelation of Jesus Christ. Some churches won't preach Revelation at all. They just don't believe in it. Most of the Bible, however, is prophecy. Most of the Bible, up to 70%, depending on how you define the word prophecy, is prophetic. But the three major prophetic books in the Bible, Daniel, Ezekiel, and Revelation, you don't hear preached very much. But without Revelation, the Bible's incomplete. It's like reading a novel with the last chapter missing. It really sums up the entire book that precedes it. The problem is that people don't try to understand it. We are all going down this road of life for the first time. The same way people drive down new roads. And sometime in the future, the bridge is going to be out. We don't know when, but the sign is there that tells us it's going to happen. The signs in the past have all been accurate. The 300 prophecies that prophesied Christ's first coming all came to pass. And the chance of that happening by chance alone is so astronomical, it's inconceivable. There's more prophecy about his second coming than about his first. So we have decisions to make. Somewhere along the line, the bridge is going to be out. Do we ignore the sign? Do we just completely forget about it? Pretend it's not there and go on our merry ways? Or do we philosophize about it and discuss it and analyze it and think about it and argue with it, but don't do anything about it ourselves? Or do we act the same way we do if we see a sign in the road saying, Bridget, do we change what we're doing in order to cope with what's coming? You see, prophecy is not just to tell us what's ahead. It's to tell us what we can change now to avoid what's ahead. You see, all through the world, wars are raging. The weather's changing. It says in Matthew that the signs of the times will precede Christ's coming. There will be wars and rumors of war, earthquakes, and weather events in strange places. That's all happening. Is it a sign of something imminent? Or just a warning sign about something that's going to come sometime in the future? It says in John 16, verse 2, Yea, the hour comes, that whosoever kills you shall think that he offers service unto God. Does that sound familiar? Certain religion? And these things will they do because they have not known the Father nor me. The only way we understand the Father in Christ is to understand the signs that are in the Bible. We either have to ignore them, or we have to philosophize about them, or we have to truly try to understand them, because they're there for us as a warning. And in these days and times, that's something we all should think seriously about.